The mission of how I started podcasting and started Special Chronicles is giving respect and voice to those of us with special needs. I became an athlete leader of Special Olympics Illinois, and the mission of how I started podcasting and started Special Chronicles is giving respect and voice to those of us with special needs. I became an athlete leader of Special Olympics Illinois, and when I recorded the audio of the speeches that I was given and putting those up as podcasts, I soon received messages of encouragement, and I learned that it was a powerful platform and really helping to make a difference in people's lives. 12 years ago, I didn't expect that anybody would want to even listen to me. We have over 42,316 listeners per month. It's a humbling experience. I'm really grateful to make a difference in other people's lives.
This is Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.
Podcasting since 2008. This is the show where we're broadcasting disability stories from an insider's perspective, and we are giving a voice to people with special needs. This is your weekly guide to find and joy, acceptance, and inclusion.
I shudder thinking how the world can be so
I have that.
Lend my voice to those who can't. It's time we try. It's time we care. It's time we stand. It starts with a voice.
Coming up, speed that a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit. Good. Coming up on part 7 of a Unified at Work show, we're on the job with Jonna and Steve from United Airport Operations Customer Service at Chicago. The podcast listeners can't see you waving, but our video, if you check out the video on YouTube or Facebook, they can see you. Tune in for next. Can you just raise it up a little bit? That one, yes. Tune in to. So I have to talk to a volunteer producer. Tune in for an extraordinary conversation about unified employment taken off at United Airlines based on the groundbreaking global partnership with Special Olympics and United Airlines featuring behind-the-scenes stories and an exclusive audio documentary from the global headquarters of the Friendly Skies. Part 7 is coming up right now on SpecialChronicles.com. I don't think we have said this, but it is hell to talk with a mask on a podcast. Welcome back to Unified at Work's show. My name is Daniel. I'm your host and founder of Special Chronicles, and a Southern Striver International Global Messenger of Special Olympics, and a service ambassador at United Airlines. Did I miss any titles there?
I think you got them all, Daniel.
Welcome to the Unified at Work show and the Special Chronicles show, Jonna and Steve. Applause. There. Welcome. A brief programming note. The Unified at Work show is produced by the Special Chronicles Network. For 12 plus years, we have been producing groundbreaking and award-winning podcasts that give respect and voice to people with special needs. Listen to hundreds of podcasts heard globally by thousands of listeners for free and on demand at SpecialChronicles.com and on podcast apps everywhere. The Unified at Work show is produced in collaboration with United Airlines. United is Chicago's hometown airline and is a major legacy airline. United Airlines is a proud global partner of Special Olympics. Fly the Friendly Skies. It is safe, and you can book your travel today at United.com or the United app. The best airline app out there, and I don't say that because I don't say that. I don't just say that because I'm paid to say that. Oh wait, I kind of am. Do I look you? Welcome.
It's because it's fact. It's won many awards.
Yes, and support. I actually didn't know that until Susie brought it up on her episode. Support for Special Chronicles comes from listeners like you. Join our supporters, and we are currently raising $12,000 in celebration of a 12-year celebration of Special Chronicles. Please support this podcast at SpecialChronicles.com/give. That's SpecialChronicles.com/give. It's super easy. So welcome.
Thanks for having us, Daniel. Super honored to be part of this show. I am so impressed with all the different things that you're an expert in and that you're giving voices to so many people. And I am just honored to be here with you.
Awesome. And let me briefly give you titles. I've got it here too. How nifty. That producer knows what he's talking about. Jonna McGrath, you are the Managing Director of Customer Service here at Chicago for United Airlines. And Steve, you are Assistant Manager, Customer Service in Chicago, United Airlines, and my boss. Yep. And boss.
You got it. The big boss. The big
boss. Big in a good way. Good. So why don't we both introduce yourself and tell us about your brief backstory and job here at United Airlines and your connection to our disability community.
So I will start. I'm Jonna McGrath, and I have been with United for 32 years, and I have worked all over our system. So I agree with Daniel. United is the way to go. We have the great app. We have clean aircraft. It is safe to fly. We want everyone to get back in the friendly skies. I came into the work with Special Olympics and the amazing opportunity to work with Daniel, Lauren, Z, and Kyle through our partnership with Special Olympics. And we started with just doing some job share opportunities out here at the airport. So day trips, showing them what we do, having them make announcements and interact with our customers. And it dawned on me that we should be doing more, that all of these athletes have so much to give and so many unique talents. And a company like United could be a great launching pad and give them opportunities that they may not have otherwise had. So that's how it was born. And I am honored to work with all of you.
Awesome.
Hi, everyone. My name is Steve, and I am a assistant manager customer service here at United. And I've been in the industry for over 13 years, but I've only been with United for going on 3 years in November. But I'm glad to be part of the team, and I'm honored that Jonna and Rick have included me with our first job share program in February of 2019, right?
19? I think it was 19. Because I missed the first one. But yeah, 19. I think it was 19. Was it 19? 19?
Seems like it's so long ago.
It seems like I think it's because of the global pandemic.
But
yeah.
I'm honored that they're to be part of it, and I'm glad where we've come from that little event that we had and it's grown over the time. And we had many plans for it this year, but it'll come back again, and we'll make sure it's going to be even bigger and better than before.
Well, Jonna, you mentioned that it was safe, and can we give a brief plug for the United CleanPlus program? We've got like those what do you call it, banners?
Yeah.
And and so we're always telling people that it's safe. And I think I saw on a video that it's the safest is the window seat and for full swipe down, but then it's safest at the window seat.
Yeah. So
the CleanPlus.
Absolutely. So CleanPlus, we've partnered with the Cleveland Clinic, and we are in Clorox, and we are really focusing on making sure the airport is clean and our aircraft are clean. In addition, we do electrostatic spraying on all our aircraft between every flight. So that means we kill all the germs and bacteria before anyone boards that flight. And then we use emergency room level HEPA filters on our airplanes, and they recirculate that air, and they use this recirculation every 2 to 3 minutes. So it's even safer than being in a building. It's lots of recycled air through there that's cleaning it out. The way it goes from top to bottom, it just makes it a really safe place. And they're doing a lot of studies on that to show how effective that can be. So
maybe in the show notes for this episode 393, we can maybe include some links to maybe some videos.
Absolutely. We've got lots of good CleanPlus stuff out there that'll help people feel much more comfortable flying and understand all the different things we're doing to make it safe.
And I'm
for
sure
them.
if they go on United.com or on the United app, I'm sure that they can find information. So talk to us about, now getting back on topic, talk to us about when you first heard about our inclusive, or in Special Olympics, we use the word unified employment program of the original UA4, because we're the original UA4 Service Ambassadors. When you first heard about the program, talk to us about when you first met the four of us, our interview day to the orientation, and now we're approaching our 1 year anniversary on October 28th.
Yeah, absolutely. So, the inclusion revolution really resonated with the whole team here at O'Hare. And we met all of you going at some of the job shares that we had, some of the events. And then we had the interview sessions with you, and we did those here at O'Hare, and a whole team participated. But it was a great day getting to know more about each of you and all of the talents that each of you have. And I would say the four of you, the original UA4, right, are so different, but a lot of ways the same, right? Mm-hmm. So you all have different talents and you all bring different things to the job, but you all are so positive and motivated. I think you serve as an inspiration to all of us every day to say that there is so much we can do. We just have to try, and we got to work through the obstacles that are in our way, but nothing is impossible for us, right? Yeah. And so we got you on board as a member of our United family, which was...
Yeah. And it's just like on Lowen's blog, she uses the word exceptionalities. I think that's that. And so it is kind of along the same lines.
I absolutely agree. And so once you joined the team, it's just been a fun ride. You guys learned things so quickly, and you became part of the family. And every day we see you, you bring a smile to my face. And I know that I think you guys have learned from us and learned a lot about the airline, but we have learned so much from all of you also. And I think that inclusion revolution really makes us all better people, right?
Yeah. And I think Tim Shriver, our chairman of Special Olympics, had really kind of kickstarted that back in doing the 50th anniversary in 2018. So Steve, did you want to add?
No, I think Jonna, she summed it up there. But no, but to see you guys in the lobby and the way you guys connect with people, and not even just our customers, but the agents, it really, shows how it's making a difference. And it doesn't have to be a big, a lot. It's just those little things, and building those relationships can really make a difference.
Well, we talk a lot about the inclusion revolution, and when we take our sponsor break, our listeners will hear a PSA for the inclusion revolution. But talk to us about the social impact of the inclusion revolution as it relates to United Airlines. So our listeners, like longtime listeners, know about how it relates to Special Olympics. But with this being a unified at work show, talk to us about the social impact of the inclusion revolution as it relates to United Airlines, and you want to throw in the full
Yeah.
yeah.
So I mean, I think the way it relates to United is, as a company, as a corporation, we want to be a good community partner, and we want to be inclusive and diverse and accepting of all sorts of different people from all over the world, right? So this was a great opportunity for us to expand what we were currently doing and to show how open and ready we were to be a more inclusive workplace and to find different employees who brought different skills to the work and not limit people based on their backgrounds, right? So I think this was a good opportunity for us to grow as an airline, and I think it made all of us think about things differently, and I think that socially helps us. And I think also it gives you guys the opportunity to do something different than you had opportunities for in the past, right? So this is a different job venue where you're dealing with the public and you're in an industry that we hadn't really broke that glass ceiling yet for some of the athletes. So I think it's a great opportunity socially to show all of your talents and your exceptionalities. Is that what Lauren calls them?
Yes, exactly.
Right? To show them and show how much you bring to any corporation. But luckily, we at United are getting all of those skills and energy and positive attitude. And I think it's really blessed all of us.
Awesome. I want to quick I want to kind of quote you, Steve. So in the Flying Together and on the is this a blog hub.united?
Yeah.
So you said, Steve, quote, I see every day how our service ambassadors connect with our customers the moment they walk into the airport lobby. They provide a warm, welcoming smile and assist in any way they can. To see these young adults hold positions that society once told them they couldn't is truly the most heartwarming part of my job. You want to comment on?
Yeah, because, I think Jonna had talked about it sometimes when we brainstormed about it. Even with our first job shadow, there was a lot of people thinking, well, I can't do that. And to give you guys that opportunity to think that something you couldn't do, and we were giving you that opportunity, really, resonated with me. And then to see it actually come full circle and to see you guys working in the lobby, some of you thought that's something I would never be able to work for an airline. And then to see you working side by side with customer service agents and helping our customers, it really is a big impact.
So let's move on and talk about the disability training that you both took. I think you have at least 2 certificates. I don't know how many times you went through the training.
No, they just gave us 2 certificates. It's one training.
I thought you had to
No.
I thought they made you go through.
He had to go twice.
Now it comes
Thanks,
out.
Jonna.
Now it comes out. So yeah, let's let listeners know you're joking. So, and I know when we went down to Houston, I think Angela Franklin that she took over as host on a couple episodes. Can you try to plug in my headphones? So sorry. So I think she just took the training. Yeah, that's good. Take the training, and so tell us. So this is a partnership between Special Olympics with United, or tell us about that and how it went, and if you think that other of all fellow United employees should do this. And
absolutely. So, when we started the process and we were getting the authorization to do the hiring for our service ambassadors, we talked about what does training look like. And not only do you need training on how to do the specific aspects of the job, but we really looked at ourselves and said, we probably need some training also on how to deal in situations with individuals who have special needs. And so we brought JJ's List in, which is training facilitated by their ambassadors in their program that have different challenges in their lives. And it was really impactful. I will say there was a lot of tears in the room because they really talked about things that I may have not realized I did in the past. and how it can affect someone. So it really gave us a good perspective on inclusion, on listening, right? Asking questions before, just to be better human beings and treat everyone the same. Sorry, am I?
Yeah.
And treat everyone the same. And we're going to get to that same finish line, but it may be different depending on who you're dealing with, right? So I think it was very impactful for us. And I think all employees, yes, absolutely should take some sort of training like that.
Yeah. And Steve, do you want to talk about that? The one training that you went to?
The one training I did. No, but to like sum up what Jonna said, there's things that I didn't think of that I learned from that class that, you shouldn't really just assume certain things by just looking at somebody. And that's what I really took away from that class is, just the different ways of, expressing or seeing how somebody needs help really, resonated with me.
Yeah, and briefly, I Pace Bus used to sponsor the podcast at Chronicles, and in that sponsorship, it ended after a year because they ran out of money to keep sponsoring us. But there was a video series that they did where they actually, an athlete from my same agency, my same team, is an ambassador for them, and did these videos where they walked through, for somebody like us with a disability, how to take the Pace Bus and how to. So like that kind of made me think, maybe I wonder if you think we could do something like that at United, and see if maybe JJ's List could help us produce some type of video when we, because we had Jessica on, talked about the diversity and inclusion, and maybe if so, and you could use the four of us ambassadors as actors.
Absolutely.
Because we're not really acting, it's all live.
It's your life.
So maybe something like that.
Yeah, I think that's an amazing idea. I think that, United does do some programs already, but that's a great way to expand on them. We work a lot with autistic individuals and their families on how to navigate the airport. So now this COVID has changed how we do things, but they would come out and experience security and what it feels like to be on an airplane.
Bree, who I know you guys know, she had.
Huh? Yeah. Yep. And then we also work with some of the rehabilitation centers here in Chicago and in other cities, and people who have suffered accidents or traumatic events, to how to reacclimate to the airport, also with wheelchairs or walkers or whatever their special need may be, that we work with them and bring them out and walk them through the process also. But I think a video is an awesome idea. So when we start up again and get moving, or maybe even before then, we can work with you guys and do something like that.
Awesome.
Steve would be great. He's our creative one.
Yeah,
I talk a lot and he thinks a lot.
And he can he can make sure that the scenes have streamers and decorations.
Oh, streamers. Yeah, we'll make sure there's tons of streamers. I feel like you can't have enough streamers at a party.
Because that's your talent.
Yeah. I guess that's one takeaway I took from my previous character.
So, to talk to us about, before we take a short commercial break and come back to get talk about inclusion and advice and that, talk to us about how is this inclusive full-time employment program benefits United's airport operations goal.
Do you want to start? You want me to go first?
Yeah,
well, I think there's a lot of benefits with the, with airport ops, with the inclusion. I it goes to our core 4 values, and it really, United we're trying to build a different culture, and I think that really builds the new culture that we're trying to bring, and shows that everyone matters and everybody has a skill set that can help somebody else. And I think one time you actually said this a couple weeks ago that really resonated with me was,
I did.
When we had our little video shoot.
Yeah.
You said a lot of people sometimes will show you guys with hate, but you show them with love. And I think that's very impactful. Just being able to realize that and then still care for that person, knowing that they don't know any kind of better.
Yeah, that quote. I'm trying to find it because we mentioned it on Susie's episode, but because we don't know if people will listen to all these episodes. I'm going to try to find it, but when I find it, we're going to I'll find it during the commercial break.
Okay.
And but yeah, I'll let you, Jonna, say that, and then I'll find it, and then we can.
Perfect. So I agree with Steve. It's really part of our core 4 values, and having you as part of the team not only is impactful to our customers because you guys do such a great job interacting with them and making their journey more seamless, but it also has an effect on all the coworkers, from myself to everyone else that's on the floor. We learn from you also, and I think to Steve's point, when you build a culture, it's all about caring for one another, no matter what the circumstance is. And so that saying that you were looking for is so true, right? We can achieve everything through kindness and love, and not focus on being afraid of the things that we don't know.
And that's something that Susie mentioned on whole episode about when we talk about inclusion, we talk about love. And I made Susie read this. So because Steve, you mentioned it, I was gonna, I'll make you read it. And this comes from, well, this is a quote that I said. So Special Olympics International asked, since I'm an international global messenger, they asked for a quote with everything going on in a globe today. Mm-hmm. They asked me for a quote. Well, they asked all of us international, not Lone and Kyle, not like just a ton of us international global messengers. And so this was a quote that I.
So quote, hate can be met by love. Us athletes show love when we are met with hate. That exactly the way I have always been. No matter what, when people have said bad stuff about me and my friends, I smile, I listen, and I stay happy and joyful when interacting with them. That's what I always have shown.
So do you guys want to kind of comment on that? And
I think that is exactly you. Right? So, but I think everyone can.
I would hope so, since I said that.
Right? But you're so self-aware, Daniel, and I think that's a huge thing, and all of us can use some more self-awareness. And I think that epitomizes the kind of person that you are. And I believe that people, and that means all people, are what matters in this world, and that's why we're all here, is to support each other. And you do that every day. And you do it in the face of adversity or people who don't understand. And you are a role model for others. And, just this podcast says it, right? You're giving people voices, and you're giving people understanding. And that's so needed in our world today, where people can misconstrue things so quickly with social media, and the art of making a connection with a person, one-on-one, is getting lost. So I love that, and I think that you do a great job of that.
So I guess it's a miracle that I'm here with United, with connecting the world, and then it kind of fits.
Yep, you fit right into the family.
So, and you can say the same thing about Lone and Kyle and Z too.
Absolutely, all 4 of you.
So you are listening to the Unified at Work show right here on the Special Chronicles show. We'll be right back after a brief message from our sponsors in about 2 minutes. We will on the job. We are on the job. We are actually on the job. There's a reason why we title it this. Well, on the job with Jonna and Steve. Our conversation continues after the break right here on SpecialChronicles.com. Don't hit pause. We'll be back after 2 minutes.
Hi, my name is Lisa Noble, and I'm a ComEd Energy Force Ambassador and an athlete with Special Olympics Illinois.
Hi, my name is Daniel Suchorabski, and I also am a ComEd Energy Force Ambassador and founder of a company called Special Chronicles.
The ComEd Energy Force program is a program that hires people with disabilities to teach the public how to save energy and money.
It's the country's first energy efficiency program of its kind.
Saving energy is especially important while everyone is at home due to COVID-19. We're using more electricity than ever before. Just think about how many more times you are opening the refrigerator door these days.
And while the economy is stressed, it's more critical than ever to save money where we can. Following these tips can save energy and money in this time of COVID-19.
Wash your clothes in cold water and use the dryer sparingly.
Your dryer can take up to 7 times more energy than the washer.
Turn off and unplug any electrical devices or power strips you are not using.
Electrical devices can continue to zap power even when turned off if they're still plugged in. We call them vampire devices.
Use LED bulbs.
They use 25% less energy than incandescent bulbs and last up to 25 times longer, saving you lots of money over time.
Keep your refrigerator between 35 and 38 degrees.
And be sure to use Energy Star appliances.
And last but not least, check out ComEd.com/home savings for more tips and rebates.
Lisa and I would like to thank you for taking the time to listen to us today.
Remember, we are all in this together.
Stay healthy.
And stay safe.
Bye.
This episode is brought to you by listeners like you. Please support this podcast at specialchronicles.com/give. That's specialchronicles.com/give.
We're not just athletes.
We are the ambassadors of an uprising.
Peaceful protesters.
In a rebellion against anyone
who has a fear of difference.
Difference.
Our demands are
equality,
dignity,
and the recognition of our
shared humanity. We will not stop
or accept anything less.
Today, our world is
More divided than ever.
and coming together has never been more urgent.
The revolution is inclusion. Find out more at jointherevolution.org.
So, how are you feeling about this conversation so far?
Daniel, I think you're on fire. This episode is just lit.
Yeah, it is lit. You are listening to the most littest episode of the littest. Littest?
Totally lit.
What?
The most lit.
The most. Sorry, I'm recording this. Let's take the episodes. 5 episodes. Well, okay. This episode is the most. I do know how to speak. This episode is the most lit. You are listening to the Unified at Work show and the Special Chronicles show. Our guests are Jonna and Steve from United Airlines, Chicago Airport Operations. Welcome back.
Glad to be back.
I'm glad.
Aren't you glad to be lit with all the lights and lit? And
I know, right?
Polaris Plus.
Oh, it's the
And the big airplane just pulled in.
787 just put in. Awesome. Okay.
That airplane is lit too.
Oh, try to show the video people on YouTube. So awesome. So let's try to get us back in frame now. And with that, so what? Since we're all lit now, we're gonna use that all day, right? Yeah.
I like it.
And now our listeners can count how many times we have said the word lit on this episode.
Okay.
You get a prize, right?
I get a prize if I say it enough times?
No. If the listeners can count how many times we say it.
All right.
Okay. So how does this, back on task, how does this groundbreaking inclusive employment program benefit other United airport operations as other United hubs learn more about the amazing, incredible job that our Chicago hub, our OLD hub, is doing with the 4 of us, the original UFO? Because Susie talked about in her episode, I don't think you guys were here for that.
No.
So she talked as we're trying to kind of grow the program into other hubs and other special Olympics programs, Houston, New York, DC, Denver. Again, these are not for sure. I'm just listing some examples. And so how does this program, how does this groundbreaking inclusive employment benefit other hubs?
Yeah. So, like anything that you do, you start a project in one spot. And we had the honor at O'Hare to be able to start this project and create this path. And prior to COVID, we were on our way to setting up a playbook on how we replicate this in other stations and continue to grow the program. Unfortunately, COVID hit, so it's on hold. It has not stopped. The work has not stopped, but it's on hold. And we are really excited to come to a point where we can start that work again and continue to grow our family and our relationship with Special Olympics and bring more athletes in to add to the contributions that you guys have already made.
Awesome. And Steve.
And if anything, if I can add, we're going to come back, I think, better than what we were going to do.
Yeah.
Just because with the more time we're working, as we had mentioned earlier, we're learning from you and you guys are learning from us. And I think we're going to make a truly solid playbook for the other hubs or stations.
And like I mentioned on the episode with Susie, hopefully this Unified at Work Unified at Work show, this Unified at Work podcast, kind of chronicling this journey. It's a kind of, I guess, alongside the Witten playbook. Hopefully this Unified at Work podcast can hopefully be a good kind of audio documentary that other hubs can listen to.
Yeah, for sure.
And so now what have you guys, you talked about loaning stuff from me and Lo and Kyle and Z, the four of us. So I'm getting text.
Oh, it's you. I was like, I turned my phone on.
Well, it's because it comes through the iPad and I didn't disable it, and goes back into that celebrity thing we talked about. So, what have you learned from the four of us, the original UA4 Service Ambassadors?
So I have learned that we should never limit ourselves, that the sky is the limit, that you can always find ways to accomplish your goals, and that kindness is the number one thing, right? To be kind to each other. And you guys demonstrate that all day, every day, and attitude matters. And I think, you guys show all of us how having that can-do attitude and that positive attitude makes such a difference. And it not only helps you achieve what you want, but it helps others around you see that and achieve more also.
Awesome. So. And before we get to Steve, I wanted to just briefly kind of comment on what you said about never limiting us. I don't know if you guys have seen the show Born This Way. It was on A&E for 3 or 4 seasons.
I have not, but I'm going to go look it up
so now. It's called Born This Way, and there's a few people with Down syndrome who, it's like a docuseries, and I interviewed the whole cast, including Jonathan Murray, who's a award-winning and Emmy-winning producer, and they won a few Emmys for this show. And so Megan Baumgars, who I got to meet like 2 months after interviewing her on a video call, I got to meet her in Indiana. And Megan has her own business, and she did a speech when she was in high school, and it was titled "Don't Limit Me." I think that speaks to the same thing that you said. Don't limit me. And I think that's really something, it kind of speaks to like what you guys learned about us, is don't limit us. Don't limit us. Like Lowen talked about doing the roundtable episode about how she doesn't like the word. Actually, people will hear this on the season finale of this Unified at Work show, but she mentioned about how it's she doesn't like the word disability, and I don't like the word disability either, because it's a lot of times it puts, when you use that about us, it puts a lot of limits on us. Mm-hmm. So I'll turn it over to Steve now.
What I've learned, I would like to think of myself as like a relatively new leader. I'm not as experienced as Jonna, but for me, it was just learning that when I can ask you guys to do something, that there's nothing that you guys can't do, and it just amazes me. But I've learned that as a leader, just because it was just different for me, I guess, in the general. As you guys are the first U4 and UA4, you guys are the first, and I know that you guys are probably the first airline, right? We're the first airline to hire Special Olympics. Yeah. So it was completely new for me. And, I know even though the personal aspect or the personal side, but at the same time, it was just a different leadership approach and a different way of teaching and coaching and getting to know you guys a little bit different. And it had made me grown as a leader to know that you guys, are just like all the other employees. And if I put something, or if I give you a task, I know that you guys will complete it. And if you can't, you're going to try, and then you're going to come back to me asking for help or look for help, but you're going to make sure you succeed in that goal.
Awesome. Well, share advice on an expert tip that you can give to other United hubs as they look to us, or the Chicago hub as a leading the way. United overall is leading the way, but now Chicago all hub is leading the way. So share with us some brief advice and expert tips that you can give to other United hubs in creating similar inclusive full-time employment programs.
So the first thing I would say is this program is truly lit. And, if you have the opportunity.
It really is.
It is, isn't it? Right? Yeah. And if you have the opportunity to become involved in it, that absolutely step up and do it, right? It enriches the entire workplace, and it helps you develop connections that I think make us all better people for all involved. And I would say 100% go for it. Find those special people that you want to bring in with our partnership with Special Olympics, and it'll help you grow as a station. It'll help you build your culture, and it'll make us all better in the end. And
you can join us in being lit.
And you all can be lit too.
Steve?
How would I go off of that? But what I can say is
it's lit too.
It's lit. Not to be scared, it's something new. But I know that the reward at the end is a lot greater, in the end, to meet you guys and to work with you guys and to see how you guys have grown. And even with our job shadows, to see how many people we touch there, it really, is rewarding at the end. So just because something is new, don't be scared of that challenge in the beginning. Just know that the reward is bigger at the end.
Awesome. And that's my dad texting. I'll text
Hi,
him.
Dad.
I'll text him back when you.
Your dad is lit too.
Yeah, I'll text him back when you guys answer the next topic question thing. So what do you see as the future? Susie talked about this on her episode. We'll kind of like cross promote in the episodes, but hopefully people can binge listen to this, right?
Right.
One day, fly the friendly skies, they can binge listen to the Unified at Work show.
That's perfect. I love it.
So what do you see as the future of the four of us service ambassadors at United? Do you always see us as service ambassadors working in the lobby and helping out, assisting at the gates? Or do you see us getting promoted to other job positions within our United company, our United family?
So I would say this. I would say all four of you have so much talent, and I think there's other opportunities out there for you that we haven't even started to explore yet. So Danielle, with your podcast, your IT, your social media presence, amazing, right? Z is an amazing artist. She creates her own jewelry. She draws. She just has so many talents there. Kyle is so engaged and knowledgeable about emergency services and our police and firemen and all those different things. And then you have Lauren, who is such a great athlete. And Lauren has, when we talk about limiting yourself, there's nothing that Lauren can't do either, right? She is such a good example of, I'm going to do it, and this is how I'm going to do it, right? So I think you all bring so many different talents, and as we grow in the program, there might be different opportunities that we didn't expect to see, but we all have to keep an open mind and continue to watch for those opportunities and see where the road takes us.
Awesome. And Steve? What? Oh. Oh.
Yeah, Jonna said everything.
See?
She's lit. No,
I feel like Jonna's going to have her own podcast.
Coming to United, the opportunities here, they're just endless from, the the airport side, and within the airport, the amount of positions that we have, as well as going to headquarters, the opportunities. And just like Jonna had said, there's a niche for everybody, and just take a little bit of time, but we haven't explored those opportunities yet. And hopefully one day we'll be able to, venture and explore all those new opportunities, hopefully post-COVID, and get growing again.
And one thing that Karen Milligan, that you both know, that works with the athlete leadership program, that she mentioned, and I don't, with everything kind of got paused on like that whole playbook and everything, and with us, but she had mentioned that, so like in high school we have what's called like an IEP. So like this wouldn't really be an IEP. I guess it would be more of like some type of personal plan where you would work with each of us individually on like kind of where we want to go throughout United. So I don't know if that's something that we could pick up after a 1 year anniversary, or kind of if you guys both want to comment on that.
We could start looking into that, the IEP.
Well, no, I mean it's not an
to come up with like a growth plan. Come up with what
like
are your goals.
Plan.
Where you want to see yourself in 1 year. I think that we do that for leadership, to grow, because I think that's fundamental for anybody.
It would be more year 2, because are we already coming up on year 1?
You are.
It would
be the 28th, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think at United we call them IDP, individual development.
Ooh, almost the same thing.
Yeah, but we can see what your 1 year, your 2 year, and then your 5 year plan is, and then see what the ultimate goal is.
Does that mean we're gonna have cake on October 28th?
Ooh.
Cake, maybe. I don't know. What's the 28th? Is that a lit day?
Is that a lit day? That's a very lit day. It is cake day. Very okay. So, and our listeners can share that video that will be coming out in another week.
I hear
or so.
you have some lit dance moves on that video, Daniel.
I do, and Steve and Lowen have some lit dance moves.
They do too. Nice.
So come, and you do, and so it's.
Jonna says I'm awful.
Awful.
Yeah, she says I'm awful at dancing.
What about the flash mob?
He needs to work on his. He did pretty good on this. See, practice makes perfect.
On the flash
I'm not
mob?
going to limit him. He just needs to practice a little bit more.
So, well, you're off mic, but okay. So it's okay. No, it's good. I think they can still kind of hear. Okay. So connect with. How can I listen? Of course, then ever since the Abu Dhabi Daily Show, that is a video podcast on SpecialOlympics.org from March of 2019 when we went to Abu Dhabi for our World Games, I always ended these short video episodes with what does inclusion mean to you. So I'm going to ask both of you, what does inclusion mean to you personally, and you can throw in also and at work at United.
So what I think inclusion means to me is really just showing people respect and making them feel that there's nothing that they can't do, and everybody has something to bring. And really, in the end of the day, we are just one big family. In the end, we need to care for each other. And that's just what I see inclusion as, just really caring for each other and really not seeing any differences.
Awesome.
I think Steve was right on, but I think, seeing past differences and embracing the good in everyone, and, finding kindness in our heart instead of insecurities is what inclusion means to me. Like really giving everyone the same opportunities and knowing that sky is the limit, right?
The actual sky.
And the actual sky is, right? That we care about each other, and we show that in how we act every day. And it doesn't matter who we're dealing with, that we should treat them all the same and give the same opportunities and make sure that we're building those connections. So when we talk about connecting the world and, connecting people, making those connections, that's really what inclusion is about.
Awesome. And so as we come to a close, how can our listeners connect with both of you on social media, Twitter, LinkedIn, stuff like that, and United Airlines and the United app?
So I'm friends with you on Twitter, Facebook. I don't know Instagram yet, right? But I don't even know my Twitter handle. See, I need to learn from you. You need to give us. We could do that. And then we can give it to him. Is it Jay McGrath? I don't know. It's bad.
Who's gonna look it up?
That is not lit behavior. Sorry, guys.
Who's gonna look it up? Steve's going to look it up.
Yep.
And so as he looks it up, you want to say United, how people can get connected and book the travel with us?
Absolutely. So, United, you can go to united.com and you can book with us. Safe way to travel. We're still going to so many destinations, and we are going to be ready when some of the destinations that we can't go to right now that we previously went to open up. So when they open up, we're ready to connect all of you to the world. So go to united.com, check it out. Our app for the phone is one of the best apps out there. Check that out also. I am on Twitter. I'm at McGrath_Jonna. So we will, it's Jonna is Jonna. So at McGrath_Jonna. We tweet out a lot about recognition and events happening at O'Hare and different things that United is bringing, videos, etc. So we'd love to see you in the friendly skies soon.
And can you give a sneak peek on any new destinations that we'll travel to?
O'Hare, we just started Tel Aviv, Chicago, Tel Aviv. We are the only airline out of O'Hare doing nonstop to Tel Aviv. And we are going to start December 10th to Delhi. So nonstop to Delhi out of Chicago starting on December 10th. And we're going to keep watching for those markets to open up so we can continue taking all of you to wherever your travels may take you.
Is that an exclusive?
To Delhi? Yeah, I think so out of here. Yep.
You guys hold a post on the Unified Oak Show and on Special Chronicles. Awesome.
Yeah.
Steve?
But next month, actually, we're going a lot in our Caribbean, I think. We're bumping up our international service.
Awesome.
Not as much as last year, but it is growing quite a bit. But yeah.
Awesome. And you'll Twitter?
So my Twitter handle is at UAL_ski, SKI.
So much easier. It's not as easy as at Podman Dan. So you guys, we'll try to put, if I remember to put links in the show notes, we'll try to. If not, just go to Twitter and follow these two. And hashtag United Together, being united, inclusion revolution, choose to include all that. SpecialChronicles.com is where you can go to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. And be sure to subscribe to our podcast. And remember to rate, review, and follow us to be notified of when new episodes that drop weekly that are lit too. Yeah. Lit and weekly. I'm trying to be hip, can you see?
You're very hip.
Right here on the Special Chronicles Network, your source of finding joy as something that inclusion and gives respect and voice to people with special needs. I hope you have enjoyed this week's episode. Oh, yeah. Clearly, I've copied this script and I have to put your names in. Okay. Our guests have been Jonna McGrath, Managing Director of Customer Service at Chicago United Airlines, and Steve, Assistant Manager Customer Service. United Customer Service, Chicago United Airlines. I hope you have enjoyed this episode. Tell your coworkers, friends. Sorry, I'm trying to look at my notes. We'll be back next week with another exciting episode of the Unified at Work show right here on the Special Chronicle and on the Special Chronicles show, specialchronicles.com. Tell your coworkers, friends, and family, and stay subscribed to this original podcast on specialchronicles.com. We'll see you back here next week on the digital podcast airwaves. Until then, I feel like you want to say something.
I do. I want to say that was totally lit, but I'm curious why you didn't say Steve's last name.
Oh, Steve.
Because I can't say it.
I can't. I'm Polish too, and I can't even say it. Suchorabski.
Yep, that's what I say too.
Yeah, she says it way worse.
I am really bad. That's why I had to laugh because I always call him Steve S.
So sometimes I try to say the guest's last name, and sometimes I just say, okay, I'll just.
That's why I'll usually go by Steve Ski.
And that's why your Twitter is. Yeah. So can I just say, our guests have been Jonna McGrath and Steve Ski.
There you go.
There we go. This
Thanks for having us.
This has been a lit episode, and we can say choose to include at the same time. So until next week, choose to include.
Until next week, remember, choose to include.
Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.
My first time hitting the sound, when we were sitting there, we were just the two of us.
and he like hit one of the things. I'm like, wait, I can like applause myself, and I can like do. So I was like having all sorts of fun during my podcast. Like,
Let me stop this.